Hello everyone, on this episode of The End is Nigh, some of the last Sega Genesis games. Released in 1996 for the Sega Genesis, Virtua Fighter 2 is a 2D port of the original 3D arcade game made by Sega. 1 year after the first World Fighting Tournament, 8 fighters are invited, with no option to turn down, to the second World Fighting Tournament that is supposedly run by the Judgment 6 cartel. As usual with fighting games, each character has a unique and personal reason for fighting in the tournament. If you can win 2 out of the 3 fights per opponent in arcade mode, you can then move on to the next challenger. Winning can be accomplished in 3 ways. You can beat the other fighters out of life, try knocking them out of the ring, or by winning with a round timeout with more health remaining than your challenger. If you lose, you can replay the last opponent until you outskill or outluck the CPU's programming, as the difficulty of each challenger you face does not scale smoothly, and by the 5th fighter you will feel the wrath of the CPU's almost flawless timing. Taking 3D motion captured attack timings and moving them to the 2D world is not a good fit. No matter who you choose to play as, controls feel heavy and sluggish, with a delayed return to ready position that will take some time getting used to. Some button combo commands are easy to pull off, while others are finger cramping and offer little reward for the risk of execution in return. A 6-button controller makes things only slightly less frustrating than the 3-button controller by giving you the option to remap 2-button combo commands down to a single button. A 2-player versus mode is also available if you have any friends you wish to alienate after a few play sessions. Graphics are one of the few things this game has going for it. Backgrounds, while somewhat lifeless, have 4-way positional shifting with a sprinkle of transparency added here and there. Characters are unique from each other and stand out from other fighting games in the same category. Character animations are just in the gray area between slightly choppy and slightly smooth.
Fight! 1, ready, go!
The sounds range from a few good kick and punch contact events to almost terrible gritty and gravelly voices. Music is clean sounding with a few catchy melodies without being overpowering or distractingly busy. If you're looking for a down-the-line average 2D fighter game, the Genesis version of Virtua Fighter 2 has you covered. Developed by Traveler's Tales and published by Sega for the Genesis in 1996, Sonic 3D Blast is an isometric platform game starring Sonic the Hedgehog. Dr. Robotnik, who is still trying to rule the world, is searching for Chaos Emeralds when he discovers that the birds called Flickies can travel between dimensions. So Dr. Robotnik builds a trap and captures the Flickies, placing them in his robots to both help him find the Chaos Emeralds and to give Sonic a set of adversaries. It is your duty as Sonic to free all of the Flickies and to find the Chaos Emeralds before Dr. Robotnik does. As with the previous Sonic games, your main attacks will be jumping on or spin dashing into the enemies. You can pick up a blast attack from the gold shield icon that homes in on an enemy when you jump into the air. The Flickies act like an extension of Sonic's body when found and can be used to reach hard-to-get items, like extra lives, when you drag enough of them behind you. Moving from one stage area to the other is as easy as finding all the Flickies and jumping into the dimensional rings. Controls are hit and miss. Jumping and spin dashing are easy to pull off, while Sonic's directional movements range from a little slippery to banana peels on ice. And with the added tilt of the game screen for a pseudo 3D effect, every movement performed feels like an almost moment. The Flickies, in robotic form, are almost easy to avoid and get the drop on, while the Flickies in bird form are almost easy to catch and lead around. The stage traps themselves are almost easy to avoid when encountered out of the blue. And the Dr. Robotnik fights at the end of each zone are almost easy to identify the patterns of attack. The checkered board coloring of the stage floors doesn't seem to help at all when gauging or guessing the depth of the on-screen game objects. The pre-rendered sprites are well animated and use the full color palette of the Genesis to convey a unique world. Dips and hills in the game are shaded to show height changes of the floor areas, with an occasional scene break to cut the repeated pattern monotony. One gripe we had with the graphics or that some of the types of shields you pick up are too solid looking in color and stand out a little too strongly with the rest of the game. Sounds are a mix of mono and stereo events that work well with each other. Sonic's main sounds are almost dead center of the screen even when you are all the way on one side of the gameplay area. Ring pickup sounds swap from one side of your speakers to the other, and the background music is fully making use of the stereo field. Sonic 3D Blast could have been a great addition to the end-of-life cycle for the Genesis, but with the slightly aggravating controls, it comes off as just above average.